Okay. This is a project presentation for the network science, and the project we have done over the past few months is to study. It's about studying the brain connectivity analysis of human connectome. Um, this it should be noted that this is a co-worked project by Jada Lee and Yunju, and we worked together for this project. And the main problem we've been studying is, the brain connectome contains so much information, and the brain is so complex that not a single method can detect what's inside our brain, how many neurons, and stuff like that. So there are many available techniques that we can utilize to study the brain connectivity. And one thing, there are a lot of technologies. For example, we can use fMRI, we can use EEG to study those techniques. And there are two concepts I want to mention about the brain network study. One is called the voxel, which represent each of the brain regions you're gonna study. It's just like a pixel in a three-dimensional space. And another property that the brain connectome usually show is it usually can show certain kind of small world attributes, which means each of the neurons, the node degree of each neurons often complies to part law distribution. So the project which we've been studying is to utilize the fMRI data we've received from somewhere, and to study these both signals of each time series, and to find the connectivity matrix, and further to analyze the connectivity matrix to study the connectome, and to study the relationship if there's any relationship between the human IQ scoring and the connectivity patterns. So the connectivity matrix is the foundation of this network science study approach, because using this matrix, you can get information about which part of the brain is connected to which part of the brain, and so blah blah blah. And this in this slide, I have shown a sample connectivity matrix, which the red dots and the darker dots are stronger connections, and the weaker connections are represented by cooler colors. So you can see for typical brain network, you can see there are just a very few of dots that have warmer colors, and the rest, most of these things belongs to the cooler color group. So from this graph, we can deduct to some degree that the brain connectivity may conform to certain parallel distribution. And this is another view of this brain connectivity. We can see there are different regions, and in different regions you're gonna have um, different neurons, they clustering, and you're gonna have different names for the neurons for each region. You just name it. So we can see for specific regions such as the left percentile lobule, you're gonna have several connections with other regions. And this is just like a graph that has certain connectivity with other nodes, not necessarily its neighbors, just the another regions. And next thing is the data we retrieve is fMRI data, which contains 12 subjects. And each subject is scanned 300 times at a resting state, and with the time series interval of 2 seconds, which means you just sample this data with a period of 2 seconds. You take a sample, and you another 2 seconds you take another sample, and the process continues, and you're gonna take a total of 300 times of these samples. And because as because there is some noise effect at the beginning of each sample, so although there are 300 times, you only take 295, because you're gonna have to discard the first 5 times, which contains a little bit more noise. So in total, you're gonna have 91 by 91 by 109 voxels. So this is just an approximation, because for each subject, the exact number of voxels is not constant. You're gonna have sometimes somebody have 3,000, somebody have 4,000, and 5,000, 6,000. You're gonna have variable lengths of the voxels, but that doesn't hinder the data analysis process, which we're gonna talk a little bit in the next few slides. So the data processing approach we engage are mainly correlation based, and in general there are 3 kinds of techniques one can use to study the connectivity properties of the network. The first one is correlation, the second is coherence, and the third is mutual information. And it should be noted that all the 3 methods are widely used. However, we only use correlation in our study and experiment in our case, because either of these methods just take a lot of time, and it's gonna take hours to days, even months, to complete the whole calculation process, because of the large data space. So we just use one of them. We choose correlation. And in terms of correlation, there are also 2 kinds of them. The first is called cross correlation, which is defined in this equation. Generally speaking, it's just like a coefficients uh, that can be calculated by the covariance of 2 time series with the time delay coefficient h. So you can see the cross correlation is computed like this, and another one is called partial correlation. We didn't study too much about partial correlation, because this was tend to take a much longer time, so we can't in terms of time consumption, we can't afford it. So we just unfortunately we cannot engage this method because of the computation abilities of our computers. So we only take cross correlation, even though it's gonna also take hours, even days of calculation without, if you don't do any optimization. And the next step after we get a cross correlation results is to set a certain threshold to threshold this results to get to calculate matrix the connectivity matrix, and using this matrix we can fit the data with power law distribution with parameter alpha and gamma. Yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, this correlation computation is quite expensive in terms of computation ability. So we engage some method to optimize. For example, when we are calculating the correlation between time series, we just because each time series, any of the two time series are independent of other set of two time series. So when we are calculating this, we just engage the parallel computing toolbox provided by MATLAB. And we have tested that with the 4-core CPU and even 8-core CPU, the speed up gains are pretty large. It's approximately 3.2 or 3.5 the speed up with the 4-core CPU, and maybe 6 or 7 speed up with the 8-core CPU. So this is gonna do a lot of benefit to our algorithm testing or computation. And so after that, we do we get the get a threshold, this information, and finally we're gonna plot this experiment with 5 subjects. We can see this plot conforms pretty much like the power law distribution, but with some heavy tail effects. And in order to cope with this situation, we also, when we are fitting these curves, we only choose a major fraction of this curve. For example, we only choose from 20 to 100 in this interval. We fit it, and so in this case, we're gonna have calculate the log scale, or put this data in the log scale, and we're gonna have these scattered points, and we fit it with a linear method, and we can calculate the slope of this line. And so we do the same with the second subject, with the third subject, the fourth subject, and the fifth subject. So we can see this all the 5 subjects conform to certain power law distribution. So we fit it, we get the slope results shown in this table. We can see the subject 3 has the largest slope, and the subject 2 has the smallest slope. What does this mean is subject 3, we can see from here, this curve just ending very early, while subject 2, this has a very bushy ending, and this is the last over 500 over 500. So this is gonna make a lot of sense if, I mean, in terms of intelligence. So we can see that it can also be estimated from these figures and the fitting patterns. We can estimate that the smaller the slope value is, generally the higher IQ the person could have. So this is all we have done in this experiment. And the next thing is I just want to show you some of the code we've been running, and we can see the FMR data was retrieved in a MATLAB data format. The first thing is we load it into memory, and the next thing is to run this script. What this script does is to calculate the correlation. and we can see that we use power 4, which means it's a parallel computing, and we click run, and yeah, it pretty much runs. And this is gonna take nearly 2 to 3 hours in a core in a 4-core machine, and you can see that we have finished 1851 1481, and you can see this is just for a 4-core machine, so you can see it just pops out very fast. But if you do it in a single thread, the only one calculation is gonna take 30 seconds to 1 minute. So the whole calculation involves thousands, maybe 4,000 of nodes. So it's gonna take like 10 hours, 9 hours to 10 hours to finish the whole calculation. But if we engage the parallel computing technique, it's gonna take only 2 to 3 hours. So it saves a lot of time. And this process just started just a few seconds ago, so I'm not gonna wait for it to complete because it's gonna take another 2 hours. This I'm gonna press Ctrl C to stop it. And the next thing is I'm gonna show the this data. You can see the data 1, data 8, data 9, data 10, data 11 are the data for the 5 subjects we studied in this course project. And we write script for each subjects, and we run it. First we run the first part, which is to get a oh no, this is the second part where we only have to run this. Yeah, let's get the distribution of the node degree with the probability of the node degree, and we click run, and we get a oh no, it's oh sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it. And this is the faded line for this subject. Now we can also do is subject 2 and do the same. We click the first section is to get the node degree distribution, and we click run, and we get you can see that we get the faded line. Yeah, so the slope is given here. We only take the absolute value of the slope because that's what this matters. And okay, I think that's what I wanna talk about. So that's all the way down here, and thank you guys for watching this video. Hope this helps. Really appreciate it. Thank you.